Hello, friends. This is Alia Jamal, the Love Coach, and today we are meeting for a conversation about feeling your emotions versus processing your emotions. Most of us adults living in today's day and age, it is very challenging for us to feel our emotions or be connected to our emotions. And if you have gone through some kind of trauma in your life, whether it is small or big, it is very easy to be emotionally numb, and we have to wake up, we have to go to work or wherever you're working from. So there's so many demands from us that requires our attention, and emotion is something we consider it as our weakness. We put it to a side, we shove it under the rug, we put it under the table, never to be looked at. And if you had parents who were very focused into becoming somebody, and especially if you had immigrant parents, and if that is the kind of direction you got, so general advice has been your emotions are lying, don't listen to your emotions, stay present, be in control, decide what you want. And we think emotion is just something useless that comes up. So it doesn't need my time, it doesn't need my attention, I know better than this. And we stay stuck in our head. That is how most of us adults are living. Nothing wrong with them. There's just some side effects of that. One of them is your emotions are going to be stuck in your body, and over time they are going to create all kind of diseases in your body. One of the very prominent one could be heart disease or anything related to high blood pressure. So that sort of thing, high cholesterol, we think that is because of stress. Why stress is there? Because the fear didn't get processed. So I know this conversation is going to be a little bit heavy. But the second thing that happened, it closes your heart. And when your heart is closed, you don't have access to your soul. Each and every one of us are a vessel to a very powerful divine being living through us. But when I am not listening to the cues or paying attention to it, and I am more stuck in my head, I'm more stuck in my body, I feel like I know better, I can direct my life without hearing what does the being that houses in this vessel wants. And that communication is our emotion. That communication before your soul between your soul and your body is your emotion if we don't understand it. So I know the conversation is going more towards what emotions are, but we are going to get to feeling and the processing part of it. So now coming to, if that is what the emotion is, if I don't process them, then these are the kind of disconnects that happen within me. Now, if you're a person who have been emotionally numb, you don't even know what you're feeling, you feel completely disconnected from your body. You know that you're completely stuck in your head and you want to start building this intimate relationship with them. Now, this intimate relationship is going to be multifold, starting with the first thing is making a decision. Am I even ready to connect with myself and my emotions and my body and my soul? It all comes together in one package. Are you even ready to do that work? Because if you're not ready, if you're like, oh, I'm just going to read this one book and that will be done. No, my friend, it is going to take you a few decades to really connect with yourself fully. And then you'll continue working on different layers. So, decision is the first part. And the second part would be being able to differentiate what is processing an emotion and feeling an emotion is. Emotion is more like a ball of energy. And when, for example, if someone gives you a warm blanket and you have it around you, you're feeling the warmth of it. You're not paying attention to, oh, the blanket is made out of wool, the blanket was put in a warm place to get extra warm, and this is the texture of the blanket, this is the color of the blanket. So that would be processing, that would be involving your mind. Just feeling the warmth would be something that opens your heart because you're tuned into the frequency of it. What how does it feel being in this moment? Not trying to work through the energy, but just feeling it. Now, most of the time, including myself, when we do start to connect with our emotion, we go towards processing our emotion. Okay, I'm feeling afraid. Why I'm feeling afraid? What triggered me to feel afraid? What led me here? What is the story that's playing in my head? That is called processing an emotion. You're trying to understand the origin, why it exists. You're trying to understand the material that is creating that frequency that you're feeling. But when we feel the emotion, we are just focused on the frequency. That this is how I feel. And that feeling is done with your body. It's not done with your mind. And that's why a lot of time you've been working on yourself, you've been going for therapy, you've been paying attention to your emotions, you know where they come from, you know your trigger, but then still you feel blocked because you have not felt them yet. So I'm going to focus rest of the conversation more on the feeling of emotion because I believe most of us who have been working on ourselves, we understand what processing an emotion is. So feeling an emotion, the reason we are so resistant to it, because it is a complete unknown territory. You have no idea what is within that ball of energy. You have no idea if it is going to take you higher, lower, will you lose control? Would you completely shatter? Would you completely break down? You have no idea. That's why we resist feeling our hurt. For example, you just got laid off. What do? We come home, we cry a little, and we start fixing our resume and we start putting out the resume. Never taking the time that this is what I went through. Maybe there was betrayal at work. Maybe you were you were trying to be an honest employee and somebody didn't like that and they let you go. Maybe it was because of some kind of discrimination. You didn't even give yourself chance to feel that pain. When we feel that pain, our heart opens because we enter into the unknown territory. We have no idea what is it, where it will take me, how bad it will be. It's unknown. And when you just let yourself feel it with your whole body, you might cry, and scream. You might start rolling on the floor. You might start kicking around like a kid because it is a visceral experience. You might not look like that very well put together adult anymore. That is why we try to do the feeling of emotion in private. So no one else is there watching you, so your mind doesn't have to think about others' opinion. So you can just be with yourself. So when you want to feel your emotion, make sure you're by yourself so your body can just let loose. And I can guarantee you, when you start to feel your emotions, you're going to feel less stuck in life because there's that tiny piece of whatever it is, it blocks your heart. And when the energy is not flowing properly, your creativity gets impacted, your motivation gets impacted, your confidence, self image, all of that gets impacted. And you rely heavily on your mind. And that can be a good thing, but not a strategy to live as a human, especially a happy human. A happy human does not live from their mind. A happy human lives from their heart, having the capacity to feel it and be with it without trying to justify it. And now I just want to include a little bit why emotions are it's a messenger from your soul. So let's say if I'm here, right? I'm in the center, I'm feeling peace, I'm feeling calm. And all of a sudden a trigger happens and now I'm all the way till anger. My soul is telling me in that moment, you have gone that far away from my frequency. And the only way I can come back is letting myself feel that anger. When I let myself feel that anger, my body cells, they're like these tiny machines that do have the ability to eat up that energy that anger is. When I let myself feel the anger with my whole body, that anger dissipates and I come back to my soul. Now, let's say I'm too busy to feel the anger and I go into like, I'm feeling angry. This happened, that happened. I go into justification and then I'm talking to myself. You're an adult. Why are you thinking this way? I'm pulling myself out, but I never felt that anger. I just left it there. Now, that is the gap between me and my soul because I did not respond to that communication. Unless I feel that anger, whatever that tiny thing was, unless I feel it, I'm not going to fully come back to my natural frequency. That is my soul. That is love, peace, and joy. So, my friend, if this is something that resonates with you and you're like, yes, I've been stuck somewhere, feeling emotionally numb, not feeling my emotions, not giving myself permission to do it, I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you make this priority. If not for this year, make this priority for next year. You'll be surprised how much your life will change when you start to process plus feel your emotion. And just feeling your emotion starts to open so much within you because what it's doing, it's opening your heart. You're not living with a closed heart stuck in your mind anymore. And that is an experience that once you go through it, that is when you realize, oh my God, now I understand why people say life is so beautiful, life is so easy, life is full of fun and joy, even in the most difficult moments. And as you all know, whatever I teach it from embodiment. So this is how I live my life. And I can tell you, my life keeps getting more beautiful, more joyful, because I am more present with the being that lives within me. How did I get there? I started to process plus feel my emotions. And I'm still getting better at feeling them because it's natural to resist to feel because we want to stay in control. And if this is something you're ready to work through, I would love to be your guide. You can reach out to me. You can go to aliajamalcoaching.com and you can book a consultation. I would love to help you on the journey to come back to your soul and truly experience your truest self. Sending you all so much love. I'll be back with more. Bye.